Hi folks, this is your MWIS Fleeting View looking at the week ahead. The weekend charts first of all. Saturday looking like this. We have a weak front draped across the western half of the country, and that will be producing some patchy rain and low cloud, particularly across western mountains. The rain tending to fizzle out, the cloud tending to lift as we go through the daytime, but a few local bursts of showery rain could still pop up in the afternoon, inland across Scotland and even across the Pennines, just the chance of a local shower. The wind strongest across Scotland, a breezy southerly flow. Temperatures will be generally a good few degrees above freezing towards the higher tops, but do just bear in mind the cool feel in that wind. Lighter winds overall across England and Wales. The weather system out over the Atlantic to the west will be moving in by Saturday evening and night, and that will bring some windy and wet conditions in places to western northern Scotland on Sunday. Here's the sequence then, and that weather system approaching from the west with the wind strengthening across the west coast of Scotland through Saturday evening, rain coming on as we head into the night, and that turning persistent across much of the west of Scotland through the night to dawn on Sunday, and rain could be rather frequent here throughout the daytime, fairly persistent at times across more western mountains. That heaviest of the rain tending to push northwards through the daytime. It may just start to fade a little bit from the south, but a pretty wet day across much of the West Highlands and the Northwest Highlands up to about Skye and Wester Ross. A windy day across the mountains, gales across high tops, so a rather unpleasant feel for many. Low cloud cloaking the western hills, higher cloud bases and somewhat drier conditions the further east you go across the Highlands. For England and Wales, we're seeing relatively lighter winds, but still a blustery day, and only patchy bits and pieces of rain around the Lake District, and largely dry for Wales under high pressure to the south here. That high will tend to build northwards in the days ahead, and fronts will get pushed away gradually, but still the leftovers of that weather system still hanging around to give wet conditions across the Northwest Highlands at least into Monday. Only small amounts of patchy rain possible just further south across the Highlands. That front is expected to weaken gradually, the wind easing with time into Monday. Best of conditions for Scotland at least across eastern and southeastern parts once again, with some sun and some cloud breaks developing, but staying rather dull and damp further northwest. England and Wales feeling pleasantly warm with some sunshine under high pressure, the airflow coming up from the continent. The air that's moving towards us into the middle of next week has its origins over Spain and the Mediterranean, so some very pleasantly warm conditions onwards over a few days next week. Some strong sunshine around as well. Remnants of fronts fading toward the north of Scotland, so even more widely across the Highlands. Tuesday should be a dry and sunnier day. Some local fog patches could just be around in the morning. Coastal areas seeing the risk of those just lingering for a while through the daytime. Light winds though, and warm sunshine will continue. Onwards through midweek, and that story will change very little for many places, but just toward the north of Scotland the next area of low pressure is not too far away, and the wind could just be a bit stronger toward the far north, even the risk of some patchy rain locally in the far north as a front just grazes through. A bit more cloud here. Otherwise, across much of central southern Scotland, England and Wales, should be lots of sunshine and warmth through Wednesday. Light winds here as well. Later in the week, and the complications will surround just the movement of our general zone of high pressure, which is repositioning itself a bit further to the north and west of us. A front will try and come down from the north, and maybe some showery bursts will develop across central England and Wales by this time. The airflow then changing direction to a cooler northerly source, so in the later part of the week temperatures will be considerably chillier, may even temporarily drop to freezing point across the higher tops in Scotland. So quite a change of feel to the pattern by the end of next week. Still a lot of dry and bright weather and sunny weather in the forecast, 1 or 2 showers possible locally, but temperatures will be considerably cooler as we head towards the following weekend. But high pressure should be nearby, and the outlook is promising there for some settled, dry and sunny conditions into the first weekend of May. We shall keep an eye on those details. All your local information as always on our website. That is your Fleeting View. Thanks for watching.